There are many ways to die in history. But in the Ottoman Empire, there was a fate far worse than death. To be erased, no grave, no name, no record, as if you had never existed. Tonight, this is not a story about executions or wars. This is the story of people who vanished without blood and without memory. The Ottoman Empire was built on order, records, and discipline. Every birth was written, every death was noted. Every servant, soldier, and scholar had a place in the archives. But behind this perfect system, there was a hidden rule. Some lives were never meant to be remembered. In the palace, history was not only written, it was edited. Scribes worked endlessly under candlelight, copying names into thick registers. Ink stained their fingers. Silence filled the rooms. But sometimes, a name was written only to be removed, a line scratched out, a page replaced, a record sealed, and no one asked why. There were people who fell out of favor, officials who knew too much, scholars who spoke at the wrong time, servants who heard conversations never meant for them. They were not always executed. That would leave evidence. Instead, they were removed from memory. Their salaries stopped. Their families were reassigned. Their names were quietly erased from the registers. The empire did not kill them. It pretended they had never lived. There is an old belief whispered among palace workers. A room, not a torture chamber, not a prison, a room where decisions were finalized. Those who entered were not always harmed. Some walked out alive. But after that, their names vanished. No records, no mentions, no trace. History closed its eyes. One Ottoman scribe wrote a single sentence in a private notebook. Some men leave the palace alive, but do not leave history. That notebook disappeared shortly after. Families of the erased were forbidden to speak. Asking questions meant becoming suspicious, and suspicion was dangerous, so they learned silence. Children grew up knowing a father existed, but unable to say his name. Wives became widows without funerals. Sons inherited nothing but confusion. This was power in its quietest form. No swords, no crowds, no martyrs, just absence. And absence is terrifying, because history is not only what happened, it is what survived. Everything else is darkness. Centuries later, historians noticed something strange: gaps, missing officials, unexplained replacements, sudden promotions with no predecessors. It was as if someone had edited reality, and perhaps they had. The Ottoman Empire understood something modern governments still struggle with. If no one remembers you, you cannot haunt the future. So ask yourself this: how many people lived full lives, only to be erased by a single decision? How many stories ended without an ending? How many truths were swallowed by silence? This is not a legend. This is not a myth. This is history's blind spot. And sometimes, the most powerful weapon is not death, but forgetting. Because a man who dies may be mourned, but a man who is erased never existed at all.